Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking a lot in recent days about the requests from the great follower of our channel, John Walco, and he's asked for another key British horror movie of the late 1950s. It's called, obviously, Jack the Ripper. Now, a 1959 film produced and directed by Monty Berman and Robert S. Baker. It is loosely based on Leonard Maller's theory that Jack the Ripper was an avenging doctor. The black and white film stars Lee Patterson and Eddie Byrne and co-stars Betty McDowell, John Le Monsieur, and Owen Salon. It was released in England in 1959 and shown in the US in 1960. Now, it made heavy money at the box office on a budget, last we checked, of only £50,000, which is about 150,000 Canadian at the time. The plot is a whodunit with false leads and a denouement which the least likely character, in this case Sir David Rogers, played by Owen Salon, is revealed as the culprit. As in Maller's book, The Mystery of Jack the Ripper, Salon's character murders prostitutes to avenge the death of his son, while Maller's had his son dying from VD. The film had him committing suicide on learning his lover is a prostitute. Now, in 1888, Jack the Ripper's on a killing spree. Scotland Yard Inspector O'Neill, played by Byrne, welcomes a visit by his old friend, New York detective Sam Lowry, played by Patterson, who agrees to assist with the investigation. Sam becomes attracted to modern woman Anne Ford, played by McDowell, but her guardian, Dr. Tranter, Lee Messier, doesn't approve. The police slowly close in on the killer as the public becomes more alarmed, and the killer's identity is revealed, and he meets a ghastly end. Again, Lee Patterson and Sam Lowry, Eddie Byrne as Inspector O'Neill, Betty McDowell as Anne Ford, Evan Solon as Sir David Rogers, John Le Monsieur as Dr. Tranter. Now, the film's budget was raised by a combination of pre-sales to Regal Film Distributors at the National Film Finance Corporation. The film was prepared in different edits to accommodate various territories' tolerance of nudity and violence. The British version was subject to some BBFC trims, including a moment at the end where the movie switched from black and white to color as blood materialized on the floor. A racier continental version was released in France, where he had quite a bit of box office go. Walco had mentioned that blood was very effective. Now, Joseph E. Levine, the great producer, bought the U.S. rights for £50,000. He later claimed he spent $1 million on promoting the movie and earning $2 million in profit on it. Levine replaced the Stanley Black score with a new one composed by Jimmy McHugh and Pete Rugolo, adding some narration to the opening moments, rearranged the credits to move most of the technical credits to the end, while changing the font for the opening title sequence, and restored a color blood insert at the end that had been moved on orders of the BBFC. According to Variety, the film earned rentals of $1.1 million in North America on initial release, which is comparable to about $15 million US now. Now, after Paramount's U.S. rights expired, the film circulated mostly in public domain bootlegs until Severin Films released a licensed Blu-ray edition in America on Black Friday 2017. The limited pressing was a 2-disc edition with a blue disc containing HD transfers of the British version at a 1.33 ratio and the American version mastered at 1.66, and a DVD containing a standard definition reconstruction of the European Continental Edition using bits from the US and UK prints and tape source material from the alternate nude footage, with alternating aspect ratios according for the different source prints, along with an exclusive slipcover reproducing the jacket art of the source novel. A single disc release without the bonus DVD was mass market released shortly after initial offering on January 8, 2018. In 2019, a collector provided a film element for the European cut, and after scanning it, Severin made a new HD hybrid cut using its nude scenes with the American print, mastered at 1.66, and released it on Blu-ray at a discounted price, beginning with its Black Friday sale that year, so previous buyers could effectively replace the previous DVD from the limited edition. The single disc blue and the European blue are still available at their website. Regrettably, the film element used for the American version is a less than ideal 16mm copy, which had itself been borrowed from the Library of Congress. The aspect ratio of 1.66 to 1 is the center extraction of that print. The 35mm negative and fine grain have been lost and have never been found, and again, hopefully found in the future. The New York Times, however, were not impressed by the movie, calling it a shoddy horror feature that was extravagant only in its amount of gore. The Tampa Tribune said it was an interesting motion picture with a cast of reasonably talented unknowns, and said that it contained one of the most effective shock devices dreamed up by movie men in some time. And of course, you remember how the picture of Dorian Gray went color for a while, bend to black and white. That was a British trope that was being worked on quite a bit. So I think that what John Walker wanted to pass on to the listeners, the fact is the effective use of color in a horror movie doesn't have to be in the whole movie, but it can be well done if right in the right perspective. So John, thank you for the request. Happy Christmas to you, John, and everybody else. If you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget, if you have requests are always heavily considered and always heavily respected. Thanks for listening. Bye.